Hi, I'm Renaud Anjoran, Executive VP at Agilian. Our customers come to us with their products, so it's a very wide range of products, from electrical skateboards to high-end e-cigarettes, educational toys that can be programmed, pet accessories, various kinds of accessories for photographers, massage devices, and so on and so forth. And our job is to make these products without bad surprises. Now, this doesn't include the products that we receive, we inspect, we repack. That's another kind of activity that we do. So really, in a nutshell, the kind of products that we make have mechanical parts, let's say some movable parts or an enclosure, and electronic parts. And last year, about 90% of the products that we made were electronic with batteries. Okay. These products are new, they are designed by our customers, they are unique. Some companies have been developing their own product. We look at the product design files, we ask a lot of questions to understand the design intent. If necessary, we make suggestions for adjustments to make sure that it can go into production smoothly. And then we do all the pre-production preparations to make sure that the launch can be done as expected. Some other customers have been working with another supplier, another manufacturer, and they're not very happy with their performance, they're not very happy with their behavior. So we help them get all their bases covered this time. We help them plan for the transfer, and we accompany them to launch production at Agilian in good conditions. Agilian is located in Dongguan in South China, very close to Shenzhen Airport. So it means that we are in the middle of a pool of suppliers of plastic parts, metal parts, electronic parts, and so on that is probably the widest in the world. And this gives us direct access to a lot of very specialized parts and competencies. Agilian is part of the Sophis Group, which was set up in 2006. We developed our activities in quality assurance, supply chain management, and R&D before starting with assembly. We started doing assembly in 2018. And last year, we delivered close to 1 million pieces, both finished products and sub-assemblies. Our current facility has 7,500 square meters, and we currently employ just over 200 people. There are basically three types of factories in China. The ODM, original design manufacturer, they own the design of the product. The customer comes to them and they can say, okay, we want to distribute this product, slap our logo on it, or maybe we want to make some adjustments. But the manufacturer still owns the design of the product, still owns the intellectual property. Okay? Their business model is based on owning the IP. There are OEMs, this is the second type, all original equipment manufacturer. Usually what we mean by OEM supplier is that they can make your product if you come with your own design. They will often subsidize the cost of the development. They will do some engineering maybe for free. They will maybe pay for half of the tooling, or maybe pay the entire cost of the tooling. Now in their mind, it is still their product. Okay, so they often don't give full visibility over what happens, both inside their four walls, but also in their supply chain with the suppliers of components. And then the third type of supplier is the contract manufacturer. You can come to them, they will help develop your own product, you will pay for all of the costs of the development, you will totally own the intellectual property of the product, and you will have full visibility typically over what they're doing and their supply chain and who they work with. Big companies, think Apple, HP, Amazon, and others, especially in electronics, but also in some other industries, tend to work only with contract manufacturers. And there's a very simple reason for that: control and visibility. Right? So they pay for the development cost, They make sure that they have all the information in their hands and they have visibility over everything that happens in their supply chain. And that's what they want. This is not very common for smaller buyers. However, there's no reason why this same business model can also be made available to them. So we're not a Chinese-owned company. With my partner Fabien, we are the two partners, both of us from France. And we really try not to conduct business in the same way as a typical Chinese factory. What does that mean? During product development and industrialization, the customer has the bill of material, the latest version of the bill of material. They know who the suppliers are of all the components, what the pricing is, and so on. The customer gets the latest versions of all the engineering drawings, the schematics, and so on, all the engineering files. So it means that they can switch to any other manufacturer whenever they want, basically. We don't try to hook them. What does that mean also during mass production? During mass production, if one of the suppliers is causing some issues, well, we're going to work with the customer to decide, okay, do we switch to another supplier? Here's someone we found. Here's what we found when we qualified them. Do you agree to switch? And what does it mean in terms of all the retesting and so on, right? If there are engineering change requests, same thing. The customer gets the latest files. The customer is kept up to date whenever there are issues or surprises or any kind of events that we notice during production. They get our outgoing QC reports. So all in all, the customer is kept up to date about what happens. They know about the challenges, they know about the failures and also the successes. And this really helps them make the right decisions for the future. A lot of Chinese factories try to hook the customers and they say, now you cannot go away. But that just gives a lot of motivation to the customer to switch to another manufacturer. Actually, this is very bad business, we think. So a project manager will be following your project, following your orders. She speaks English, obviously. And also the heads of the different departments, production, quality, purchasing, NPI, R&D, they can all speak English. And that really helps align everybody behind the needs of the customers. Bringing a new product to market requires a series of validations, and we have developed our new product introduction process, which drastically cuts the risk of quality issues. Managing supplier quality is an everyday challenge. To reduce the risks, we audit and we qualify the suppliers of critical parts. We do incoming QC on every batch we receive, and for custom parts, we follow closely on the development of these parts. In our own operations, our process engineers prepare for production activities, and our quality engineers prepare for testing stations, the inspection activities, and so on. As a side note, our production manager used to be a quality manager in one of the previous factories that he was working with, so there is strong quality awareness all throughout the organization. Having said all that, we also count on our customers to provide some very clear and specific requirements, because having a clear quality standard is absolutely a must, and we need our customers to provide this information. If you're looking for a supplier that will do some engineering work, that will source the components without charging you, we will not be that supplier. Similarly, if you want to make a product that is very similar to some existing products, and you're looking for one of the suppliers of these existing products to just make adjustments for you, again, we will not be that supplier. If you want us to give you a quotation, please send us a sample or a video about assembly, and we will study it. We will estimate how long it will take to do the assembly, the testing, the inspection, the packing, and we'll give you a quotation per piece. Please feel free to contact us if you'd like to talk about all this in more detail. Thank you.